Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Pseudos Crochet and More. This is your host Crystal. Today we're going to show you a little bit about issue 6 from Crochet Nation. Now I did not get issue 5, but I have reached out to them and they were sending me another copy at no charge. I don't know what happened, but I never got the issue 5. So I'm just glad that they're, they keep. I messaged them first and said, I haven't gotten it, and at that point, I usually get it by this date, and they're like, well, keep us posted. It can take 8 to 22 days after shipping, but I normally get it within a few days after they ship it. So I was confused. I don't know if a neighbor got it. Maybe they're a crocheter. They're like, hey, we'll just keep it. I don't know, because I have to go to a big mailbox center. I don't have a mailbox outside my door, at the end of my driveway. They have one spot, they put everybody's mail there for part of the street, and I think at the other end there's another one, but I could be mistaken. I know we've gotten other people's mail, so it's possible that somebody else got my mail and just didn't decide to return it to me. But I'm getting my issue 5, so when I get that, I'll show it to you guys. I know a lot of people are not showing this a lot on YouTube because it is a newspaper. The best thing to do is see what they offer, what kind of patterns are available, and see if it might be something you'd be interested in. I really do like these. I have not made anything yet from one of them, but I am going to look through soon to see if there's something that I could make for my niece. She has one kid that's a little over a year now, and she's due to have another child in September. Now, I did make her a baby blanket, but I never got it sent to her. And Melinda, if you're watching, I'm sorry about that. When we moved back to Texas, everything just got kind of chaotic. I still have it. I haven't done anything with it. I have, oh look, Bear's gonna get in the video. There's Bear. She might try to get up in her chair, I don't know. Just let her do her thing. And she's having another little girl, so I'm gonna try to make her another baby. Well, I have the baby blanket for her firstborn, Lila. And then for her, I did make another one that I'm gonna send her, because she is bigger now. That one probably won't work for a baby blanket because it's kind of on the small side, to be honest. And then I'm gonna make one for her next kid, that's due to arrive sometime in September. I swear there's not a month that we don't have any birthdays in. Some months have way multiples, and some months only have 1 or 2. So, never a dull moment in my family. Alright, so back to the Crochet Nation. So on the front here, it's got a bobble and chic cardigan. And it tells you tells you what page to go to see it. My address was right there. And then a summer ready can cozy, and it tells you what page that's on. And then there's a thing on here about upcycling your wardrobe with Ashley L. And I think Ashley L, she might be L by me with Premiere. I'm not sure. I'll have to look at that. Because I know there's an L by me, an L that's spelled just like her last name, with Premiere yarns. So when you first open it up, you've got the Crochet Nation, of course, Crochet Nation, but you have TV shows that you might be interested in. This one is featuring Frankie, Grace, and Frankie. Now, they're only on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken. There's a book, usually, maybe sometimes a couple books on here. Now, I did start reading issue 4, the recommended one from there, and that's actually a really good book series. I have to get the next one, because I do believe I'm almost at the end of the first book, and it is a multiple of books to listen to. and that was the Golden Compass. This time, I will show you this here in a second, is Richard Osman, the Thursday Murder Club. And then there's product recommendations, different things that you can, that they suggest getting for crocheters. You're moving the wrong hand. I gotta remember I'm always backwards. And then there's somebody in the garden down there. I do love how much stuff is included in this newspaper. It's fun and informative. Thanks for having this contest and all of your work on Crochet Nation. Yeah. And of course, there's always a letter from the editor. And then they advertise yarn that they love. And this time it is Premier Bamboo Pop, which I have some bamboo pop. Is it bamboo pop? I don't know. It's one of them. And there's my husband. And then there's different things, hacks to try that you haven't tried but should. Things like that. And I don't know if they're still doing the mystery story or not. Okay, Made in the Shade, how one Spanish town uses crochet to keep cool. That's pretty cool. They got hanging up, like instead of having the big piece of fabric up there between the buildings while you're walking, they have pieces of crochet up here throughout, keeping the sun away. And then the pattern this time is the Granny Square Kids Picnic Blanket. They tell you what yarn to use. You can use other yarn if you don't have the particular yarn. You can go to yarnsub.com. If I'm not mistaken, that's the name of it. And you can put in what they request or was used in the original pattern, and then they will tell you what would be a good replacement for that. And it actually looks like a pretty cool blanket. And it gives you a diagram of where to place your granny squares. I'll show you part of it. I'll show you the piece that's got no instructions on it here. Oh, I don't know, I'm going to do that because it's kind of on both of it, but it's whatever. It's not like I'm showing you the full thing. So that's what it looks like. It kind of looks like if you were to do black and red, you could make it look like a checkerboard blanket. Or the colors for the chessboard, because I think those are different. That's pretty cool. And then on the other page, there is Hooked Back in Time, from the Crazy Afghan to the Granny Square, Crochet's most iconic motif, which is the Granny Square. And there's a big story on that. And you can, if you've got a story about your first Granny Square or favorite Afghan, you can share it with them, and they've got an email. And then the next page has the Easy Crochet Can Cozy. It just tells you to use a worsted weight yarn, cotton with it, which is good. They're not telling you to be. Don't have to be specific on it. On Hooked Back in Time, Captain Hook. The surprising links between sailors and crochet. That sounds like an interesting story to read. That's actually pretty cool. Okay, and then of course the main pattern, which was on the front, the Bobble and Chic cardigan. I'm not going to show any of that because there's too much pattern information on there. There's also a maze. That's a kitty cat that's trying to get to the yarn. There's usually a QR code in here somewhere. There's an article about Fearless Filet because I do believe that's how the cardigan's made, but I'm not gonna get into that. It gives you tips and how to and shaping and all that stuff. And then there's here I'll show you guys this one. Is if I can get it to go. Okay, let me. Alright, so this is called the 3D Llama. 3D Llama. Don't want to put it up there too long. And then they have a stitch of the month, which is, this is the bead stitch. When I first looked at it, I didn't think it was the bead stitch. I thought it was the honeycomb stitch, which is a really pretty stitch, but you have to really work at that. You have to do tricks and tips on how to get that to look like it's supposed to be. I think some people call it the beehive stitch also. I will see if I can show you, let me see here. I mean, I've never seen it like this before. So, there's the bead stitch. And it doesn't look too complicated, to be honest. I do like that they do have a stitch of the month as well. And it tells you how to work the special stitch, which is the bead stitch. And I think this is really cute. I don't know how I would make it. It almost goes up to the size my husband would need. And I think I would actually have to use or find some, let me see if I can show this without giving too much. Classic sneaker slippers for adults. They look like Converse. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but that was a very popular shoe and still is to this day, for some people. But that would be really cool. But it takes a weight of yarn that I'm not used to using. It does say it's beginner friendly. Actually, it takes 4. Okay, no, I took that black for, okay, that's for the trim. Okay, it tells you, okay, so it tells you how much yarn you need in each color. But if you're gonna make the biggest size is a men's XL, which is a 13 to 14. And my husband's been known to wear up to a 15 before. So a 14 might be okay, but it might be a little tight on him. And it tells you how to, do the increases and all that, and how to change it depending on what size you're looking for. Now, the only thing I don't see is, I'm guessing this starts out with the small size, and in the parentheses is the larger sizes, because it does not state whether it's what size it's for. It just tells you numbers in parentheses, like for different sizes you change or do this XXX type of thing. Because it takes black yarn, white yarn, gray yarn, your choice of color for main body. So whatever color shoe you want it to be, you don't have to have it the black and white like a typical, I'm gonna say typical because that's the color the color that I see the most. Now my husband has rainbow Here, I'll show you which ones he has. Well, I can only show you one, I think. I don't know where his rainbows are at. Get the... Ooh, sorry, shaking the camera. So this is how big his foot is. And these are 15s. And he's got another, he got these in honor of his dad, because his dad liked purple, because he was a Vikings fan. So whenever he sees colors that were close to Viking colors, he gets them. But that's the size of my husband's shoe. So I would actually have to see if the 13 to 14 would work. Now, they do tell you for men's only, so if you're making a men's only, then you would follow them instructions, but I think that's really cool. And that would take a lot of time for me because I've never made anything like that, but it's nice that it's in here. And then there's some stuff about amigurumi, crocheting in the round, secrets, tips, things like that about how to work those. And then more about crocheting in the round, basically telling you the increases on how to do that. If you want to do it just standard, alternating, things like that. Crochet word search. I'll show you the word search. Well, yeah, sure, I'll show you the word search. Word search. I'm pretty good at finding words. And then there's actually some amigurumi things that you could try to make if you're so inclined. There is a little birdie. Oh, it's a robin. And Santa's milk and cookies. And I'll show you those. I'm not gonna not show you those. So it's not just crochet. It's got a little bit of everything in here. I'm not seeing that mystery story yet. Maybe I won't see it. Who knows? Okay, that was 15. Okay. That's information about how to make that. Okay. Okay, and then upcycling clothes with crochet. So if you've got some bell bottoms or something, it's showing you could add granny squares to the trim of your jeans. Add your own crochet. Okay, I don't know what happened, but somehow I stopped recording, so I'm going to pick up where I left off. So I was talking about the upcycling clothes with crochet, so I will show you that again, since apparently I wasn't recording. Alright, so there's with the sleeves, how you can add them to add crochet to sleeves, right there, and then there's the pants at the bottom, and then I will read you my horoscope again because I didn't hear that in there. So I am a Capricorn. It says you organize your yarn like some people organize their finances, carefully and thoroughly. This month, crochet something entirely unplanned and delightful from your loving, curated stash. Alright. And I do like how they give you tips and tricks on how to do the upcycling of your clothes. So if you got something and you don't want the sleeves anymore, or something like that, or that was already sleeveless, you can check here to see how you can upcycle them. Alright. And then we got Dear Grandma Angie for some advice for crocheters. And then we have the Misadventures and Crochet Nation comic strip. I have not been keeping up with that because I'm sure it's kind of started with issue 1. And I don't have issue 1. I missed out on that, but I am working on getting that. And then there's the Stitches of Deception on the next page. And then this here is I don't think I remember seeing this word ladder before, so that might be something new that they added to this issue or the 5th issue. I don't know, because I'm waiting on my 5th issue. Tongue tied. All right, and below that we have this beautiful shawl that was designed by Tammy Hildebrand. And I will show you again because apparently it stopped recording. That there. It's a nice, looks like it's going to be an airy one because you can see through some of these stitches, so it's not a very tight stitch, nor is it a very thick yarn. And again, I know I mentioned this earlier, if there's something in here that you like, but you don't have the specific yarn for it, you can go to yarnsubs.com, enter in what the pattern's looking for, and it will give you the best option first, and slightly go down from there. But at least it gives you an option of other things that you can use in place of it. Alright, and then on the next one is Hooked and Hilarious Crochet Crushes. Patterns we love and we will definitely make someday. Probably, maybe. That's like me. There's a lot of patterns that I really want to try, but with my schedule right now, I work, I take care of my mother-in-law, and I do this when I have the free time to do so with doing videos for you guys. So I'm sorry that I'm not keeping up with my Monday through Friday. I am trying to get back in that, but right now with my mother-in-law, she has like like this coming week, I'm recording this on Thursday, July 17th. Next week she has 2 appointments. I have to take my nephew to a doctor's appointment today. So I have to work around their schedule too. And then the next thing here is Crochet Nation, what's your crochet superpower? I don't think they ever changed these questions. I could be wrong. I'd have to go back an issue to issue 4 to see. And then the Tangled and Tied story. I have never filled one of these out yet, but I'm thinking about doing so. See what kind of funny story I can come up with. And then on the back is the Crochet Nation, the crossword puzzle, a crochet conundrum. I've never been very good with crossword puzzles. I've been better at finding words than trying to think of words that might be the answer. And they always put in the previous issues answers. I'll show you that here in a second. Sorry. Okay, so here's the crossword, and then there's the answers from the last one, and then of course, are you crossword crazy? There's a QR underneath that. Let us know how quickly you completed this puzzle by emailing us at, and then they give their information, or tagging us on Instagram or Facebook. I don't know who actually times that and how they would know if that was, actually the time it took them to do it, but whatever. Some people are out there great at crossword puzzles. Not me. Not this lady. Nope. Alright. Well, I'm going to say this one more time because it wasn't recorded last time. If you enjoyed today's video, I will put a link in the description box if you're interested in trying out the Crochet Nation. They also have a Knit Nation, so if you do both, you can always sign up for the other one too. I'm not sure if they're giving any kind of discount if you get both of them, or if it's the same price across the board. Who knows, maybe in the future they'll do an Amigurumi Nation, for all we know. I mean, there are people that really do only like amigurumi for crocheting. They don't like doing blankets, they don't like doing hats, scarves, and those are actually really simple, in my opinion. I mean, this was pretty easy for amigurumi for me, because I'm still learning on some of this stuff, and I can't believe it. There we go. My hair is falling out. Damn, I'm gonna pause. But that's Mrs. Pearl from the cookie box. you can check out my review and everything on that. I have them, they're on the channel. Alright, well, if you've tried Crochet Nation, have you ever tried any of the patterns from it? Let me know what you think of the patterns. Did you have any trouble with the patterns? Were they very easy for you? I really would like to know your thoughts on that. And until next time, oh yes, please give me a thumbs up if you liked today's video as well. Until next time, I hope you all stay safe, stay crafty, stay cool if you're in a hot area right now. And until next time, have a good one. Bye-bye.